हेलो सौरभ।
हाँ
हेलो सौरभ।
हाँ हाँ हाँ
अरे यार ये तो को क्या। ओके, इसकी ऑडियो नहीं आ रही ना अभी सौरभ।
हाँ 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 हाँ
अरे
ऑडियो
यार
नहीं
ये
आ रही।
तो
स्ट्रीम पे आ रही है।
ओके, इसकी ऑडियो नहीं आ रही ना अभी
नहीं स्ट्रीम पे नहीं आ रही।
सौरभ।
हाँ 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 ऑडियो नहीं आ रही।
स्ट्रीम पे आ रही है।
2 मिनट। ओके, इसकी ऑडियो नहीं आ रही ना अभी
नहीं स्ट्रीम पे नहीं आ रही।
सौरभ।
हाँ 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 ऑडियो नहीं आ रही।
स्ट्रीम पे आ रही है।
ओके, इसकी ऑडियो नहीं आ रही ना अभी
नहीं स्ट्रीम पे नहीं आ रही।
इसकी ऑडियो नहीं आ
नहीं स्ट्रीम पे नहीं आ रही।
इसकी ऑडियो नहीं आ
Small steps of positivity led to a bigger strides of happiness, shaping a remarkable year and ultimately an incredible life. We, the members from Manan, Ayush and Suraj, will be the hosts for this session. We would like to begin by welcoming you all to this amazing session on Place Yourself, Pace Yourself 3.0. You all must have listened. It is good to learn from mistakes, but it is best if those are not yours. So let's grab this golden opportunity to learn from our seniors. It's time to welcome our speakers Mridul sir, Arun sir, Anjali ma'am, Vivek sir, Ishita ma'am, Vaibav sir, and Priyal ma'am. We all, today as juniors, want to thank all our seniors who, despite their busy schedules, are here to share their invaluable experiences and knowledge on how to get placed in your dream companies. We will also have a Q&A session towards the end where all start to session with cute. Seniors are like torch bearers who are lighting the path for our next generation. With this cute, I would request our seniors to give a brief introduction about them. You can start, sir.
Yeah, so I can go first. Hey everyone, I am Mridul. So I'm a backend developer at CRED. CRED is basically a fintech startup. So I have been interning at CRED from Jan 2023, and now I'm continuing as a backend developer for the full time role there only. Yeah. So Arun, would you like to go next?
Hello, sure. So, hello everyone. I'm Arun Shekhar, and I've been working as a front-end engineer at Brahma.Fi, which is a multinational startup, and it provides custody and DeFi automations in the DeFi space. And I've been working for almost a year now. And today we're gonna talk about how you can crack jobs at startups and remote companies. So yeah.
Hi everyone. Hope I'm visible and audible as well.
Yes, sure.
So my name is Anjali, and I have completed my BTech in computer engineering in 2023 from YMCA. And in my third year, I did an internship at Adobe. It was a summer internship which uh, went for around 10 weeks. And based on my performance, I was extended a PPO, which I eventually accepted. And therefore, I am currently working as a member of technical staff at Adobe. It is a product based company and it has its products around several spaces. I have most of my experiences around web technologies and both front end and web and back end. But working on back end is something I find more interesting, and that is what I'm doing at Adobe. So, thank you.
Okay, going next. So myself Vivek, I am a software engineer at Zenon. I joined this organization in January. Now Zenon is a B2B service-based company that provides software solutions to establish organizations in various sectors. Majorly, it provides AI-based software services in the finance and healthcare departments. Now my role in Zenon is like I develop and means I develop the softwares based on the various clients, and also I work on various technologies such as Angular and Spring Boot, and I work on the full stack development team. More about the organization later. So over to the next one.
Hi everyone, my name is Ishita and I'm working as a software developer at Bank of New York Mellon, the tech field. So it's based out of Pune and Chennai as of now. I started with a summer intern and then went on to be a winter intern, and currently I'm working as a full-time employee at the company. Priyal, can you go next?
Yeah, sure, Ishita. Hello, guys. I am Priyal Tiwari. I've completed my BTech in computer engineering from YMCA, and I had started my internship from PureSoftware from Feb 2023. Uh, and then I have been placed as a full-time employee there itself. I work on their fintech platform named Artha. So yeah, that's it. Vaibhav, you can go next.
Sure, Priyal. Hi guys, as you know, I am 2023 batch pass out, currently placed at Samsung R&D Noida through on-campus drive. I am working here as an Android developer from past 10 months, and in my previous internship, I have exposure to Java and Spring Boot. Samsung, as you all know, has a major role in semiconductors, and Samsung SRI Noida is a mobile R&D hub. So here we have work on basically future edge technologies and means cutting edge technologies. So that's about me. Over to you, anchors.
As someone truly says, the journey to placements is like a puzzle where every piece of preparation and effort fits into place, revealing the bigger picture of your future, which the world will see. Let's try to understand and learn from the efforts and preparation that fits and made the picture for our seniors, which we are watching today. So let's hear about the indispensable journey of our seniors on our procedure. Firstly, we are having Vibhav sir with us.
Okay. So as I walk you all through my introduction, so next I'm going to explain you about the placement procedure and all the things that you might know about Samsung and before setting in the placement drive of the Samsung. So I'm going to share a few tips also, and yeah, let me walk through you all to the last year placement process of the Samsung. So there are three rounds last year. One is OA round, that is completely offline in the campus, and this year I don't know, but it will be again offline in the campus or at the Samsung SRI campus. And the next one is the interview round. That's a 30-minute to 1 hour round, majorly oriented on your data structures, core subjects, knowledge, and a few more things like your projects, etc. And lastly, there is a third round, which is a HR interview round. So let me walk you all through one by one through all the rounds. So yeah, round one. It's an online assessment round at the college, and this year it might be at the college or at the Samsung SRI campus. So yeah, in our year, there's a single DSA question within a 3 hour frame. So yeah, the point is you can refer to the Shubham sir's sheet at the GitHub that's uploaded on GitHub. You can just Google it. There is a single question, and you have been given 3 hours for that question in that test. And yeah, most of you have the doubt that collections or STL are allowed or not. So guys, STL and collections are allowed in the Samsung OA test. This is basically SWC advanced test that they have, and in this particular test you have to clear the 10 TCs, and in that 10 TCs you have to clear all of that 10 TCs. Then only you will get the chance to sit in the interview process. There are some do's and don'ts for that OA round. The do's are basically, first of all, read the question carefully because statement is sometimes too bigger in that question. And secondly, try to debug your code because few ID supports are present, they provide. And in our time, like for Java, Eclipse is provided, and for C++, Visual Studio is provided. And thirdly, try multiple approaches. Don't just stuck to a single approach if it's failing. Like in some cases there's approach that you think it might work but it just fails on some TCs. Don't just stuck. 3 hours for a single question is a too much time. You can just try different approaches. And yeah, last point is prefer BFS over DFS in case of draft reversals. This thing happens with many of the means fellows friends, and uh, they just use same approach. Just while using the traversal they use DFS. Sometimes the BFS work in the same algorithm and the DFS don't. So okay, that's do's. And some don'ts are: don't panic and utilize your time efficiently. As I already said, don't just stuck to a single approach. Switch to some other approach if it's not working there. Try to optimize the time because 3 hours time is too much. Okay. And yeah, one more thing, there are limited number of attempts to test your code or to submit your code. Don't just submit in a rush. There are some five attempts in which you can submit. If you waste those 5 attempts, then your test will be over. And if you pass all the TCs, like there are 10 TCs, if you pass all the TCs, then only you would get the chance to sit in the next round, that is interview round. That might be on the same day or the next day. So let me walk you all through the interview process. Okay, so the interview process will be going with an industry experienced employee that's placed at means that's an Samsung employee, some 5 to 10 years experience. Again, that matters on their policy. But this year, what they select to what means, what uh, interviewers they select to for our campus. Generally, there's that interview round is for 30 minutes to 1 hour time frame. That could depend on interviewer to interviewer totally. So in our case, like in my case, there are two DSA problems, and in my friends different friends case, there are one DSA problem or some core one DSA problem along with some core questions, or it might be one DSA problem with some project knowledge. Okay, they can test you on any field. It depends on interviewer to interviewer. Like that's also interviewer is also a person. It's if you belong to their tech stack, then definitely he will going to question you about your tech stack, or about your project. Majorly Samsung Noida works on Android development, but yeah, there are several number of fields like machine learning, AI, web, and many other things that we work upon. So it depends upon the interviewer, that who is your interviewer and what he is means prepared to ask you, or yeah, how the flow goes. So there are also some do's and don'ts from interview for your interview process. Prepare your introduction in a way you want to emphasize your strong topics, like include your strong topics the most in your interview so that he can go around that. And take your time to think and present your solution. First give a brute force approach and then give a fully functional solution. And while giving your solution, cover all the edge cases. And the next step will be present your solution on a paper and pen. Guys, laptops are not allowed in the process, like in the interview process. In our year, the laptops are not allowed. You need to use a pen and paper for if you want to explain your problem to the interviewer. It will give a good impact. And yeah, you can ask for your feedback too if you like. Okay, there are some don'ts also. If you don't have any approach in the mind, explain brute force at least, and don't present your solution immediately the moment question is asked. Like sometimes it happens that the problem that interviewer asks us, we know the solution. It might be on the lead code, or it might be on the some other platform. We have practiced that same problem. So don't just give your solution at the moment he asks us problem. Just think. Sometimes it happens that if you have the knowledge of that problem, then also you'll it's better now that if you could just think it again in the mind, twice in the mind, and just then present your solution. You can take 5 to 10 minutes time. Actually, the interviewer have 30 minutes to 1 hour time frame for you. Don't take too much time also. Just you can take 5 minutes or 10 minutes time based upon yeah. And after 10 minutes, if you don't get any approach, just try to explain whatever you have cooked in your mind. Okay. So the next round is a HR round. It's based upon cultural fit and behavioral and leadership problems questions with some quizzes. Uh, so in this round, you have to be confident, polite, and honest at the same time. So this is about our 2023 batch Samsung placement. At last, I want to conclude that saying that keep yourself motivated, give your best, and leave the rest. If you will be selected, definitely it would be a proud moment for you. But if you are not, then there are a ton of opportunities out there. And don't just worry, there are numerous opportunities. And I wish you all the very best 2024 batch and 2025 also. Uh, for your 2024 for the ongoing campus placement, and 2025 batch for the next year placement process. Thank you. If in case any query, do reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can just reach out to me on WhatsApp also. Okay.
Thank you, sir. We are grateful for the valuable experiences you have shared. Next, I would like to invite Mridul, sir.
Yeah. Hey guys. So talking a bit about the company, as mentioned earlier, CRED is a fintech startup, right? So why would you want to focus on a startup as compared to that of an MNC? Startup gives you a higher learning curve, right? So the things you code or the things you own in a code base goes live on prod much faster than they go in an MNC, right? And you will probably get a better pay there than that of the major MNCs out there if the startup is good, right? Also, like there are a variety of tech stacks that you use at startup, which isn't the case with the MNCs, right? So yeah, so like these are some of the factors that you would want to prefer a startup over some MNC, right? And definitely the work culture is a bit on the higher end key. You have to work a lot in a startup as things are changing continuously, and the company also demands some efforts from your end that you have to put in, right? So yeah, so these are all the factors that you can consider while looking for a startup, right? Talking about the placement procedure, there are a couple of openings at CRED like QA interns, front end interns, and back end interns for freshers. So for the QA and front end roles, we can basically go through the job openings which come on the portals. But like in my case, it was a back end role, so I applied through CodeChef. So talking about the back end placement procedure specifically, there was a code chef round. Like the first round was a code chef round, like a normal CP round which you give every week on code chef. So prior to that, there was some resume submission to that round as well. So the rank did not matter much in that round. It was your resume which have to shine, right? So your resume needs to be very well versed with the details or your skills, all of that. So once your resume is selected, like the first round was given by around 3,000 candidates, right? And around 250 to 300 candidates were selected for the project round. So like the ratio remains like this only. But your resume definitely needs to stand out in this case, right? So for the project round, some major emphasis is given on your development skills actually. So the second round was on hacker rank, where there was a repo with some code base, right? And there was a problem statement which was given, and we have to like there were some couple of files which were given, and some methods like pre-written methods, which you have to populate and which you have to apply your logic through, and basically make the unit test in that repository pass, right? So like this project on majorly focused on your core development skills, like how are you with your development end, uh, right? So matlab, it basically assesses the capability of a candidate, like how quickly he can adapt to the code base, right? So if you're a fresher, then you would want to like have some prior experience in some different organization or have some done some prior interns. Like if you are going through this round, like you should be working on some larger code bases if you are giving this round. So we were given some choices with some programming languages like C++ was there, Java was there, Python, and then Node.js. Me specifically being from a web background, I chose Node.js. So like writing tests and executing tests is a lot easier in Node.js. That's why I chose it, and I was familiar with that as well. That's why I chose it. But like if you are going with the C++ or Java, then you might need some strong OOPS concepts as well, like basic concepts, just like classes, inner classes, inheritance, and abstraction. These all are required if you are executing some quality unit tests in that project, right? And a unit test again is something which a lot of freshers don't know, so they might need to have some hands-on, like prior to giving these kind of tests, they might need to have some hands-on on a larger code base, either through some previous internships or through some open source experience. So like I personally had some open source experiences in GSoC as well. So like this was a pretty easy round for me. Yeah. And after this round, there was one interview where we were given two problems. One was related to DSA. Like the problem wasn't very straightforward. It was more of a real world problem around how processes execute and like like two or more processes are dependent on each other, so which one should be executed first and which one should be executed post that. So basically a topological sort we have to apply for this problem, and you should have some decent knowledge of DSA for solving these kind of questions. So after this problem was over, I was given some DB related questions like how transactions work, like if there is a CPU failure of the or there is a power shortage and a transaction is going on, what will happen to that transaction? Like comets, it was more around comets and rollback. So yeah, all those concepts also needs to be clear. It's not that you can just skip these topics like DBMS and all. And after these questions, there was one last question, which was more around system design and real world problem solving. So the problem was framed like it was a restaurant based ordering system. So you as a customer would want to find some restaurants in a radius of some kilometers around your home. So how we can achieve that? Like if you're a customer and you want to find some couple of restaurants in a certain range around your house, then how do actually like different systems today achieve that? So matlab, eventually like libraries today existing like S2, Google S2 or something else can achieve that fully, but they demanded more of a raw answer. So like the discussion was more around geographical coordinates in that case. So like when you are targeting these sort of companies, you can have like a decent level of low level system design knowledge as well. Matlab, you can go through a couple of videos which are available on YouTube. The questions are mostly repeatable over the years. So yeah, matlab, some decent knowledge of system design, low level system design should also be there. But these type of questions won't be asked in regular companies, but in some companies only. So you need not be company specific in that case. After this round, there was this last round, which was CRED mark round. This wasn't an HR round essentially. So one of the senior software engineers from CRED took this round of mine. Uh, so if matlab, the discussion was mostly around my resume only, right? So if you are putting anything in your resume, please look that you're not false committing anything or you're not writing anything that you don't know, right? You should know what's all there is in what's all there is in your resume. Matlab, they will also do a prior research and they would want to know ki what all you have done and all. So like don't make this practice key you write something false in your resume. So the last one was more around my prior work experience. Like I hadn't done any internships before my intern at CRED. So the prior work experience of mine was around my contributions in GSoC, my contributions as mentor, and my contributions as a contributor itself. So yeah, and after this there were some questions like what challenges I encountered during my GSoC. So like these are the questions that you need to make a note of before appearing for any interview, right? So like these sort of questions are mostly common, so you should have the answers to these very handy. But these can be asked in any of the interviews, so need not think over it again and again. Like just write it somewhere and it will be the same question everywhere. And after all this, there were some discussions on what my interests are and how I see the company, right? My perception of the company, basically. So one thing to note here is that any interview you are appearing for, you should know the company in and out. You can search for it on the Google, like what does the company do and all. You can also prepare a set of questions that you can ask after your interview is over, right? So yeah, that is very mandatory. Okay, so moving on to some of the do's and don'ts you can follow. So those I would suggest ki if you're a fresher in college, if you're in first year or in second year as well, try experiencing everything, like every tech stack you come around. Like if you're thinking ki I'm trying web development and I won't try Android at all, then that might be wrong, because you can have a larger interest at a later point of time in Android as well. So it's not like कि सिर्फ एक ही चीज करनी है. You can try everything and then decide कि मुझे मतलब मुझे किसमें मजा आ रहा है. And इसके अलावा like ask for feedbacks when you are in an interview. When your interview is over, मतलब interview may or may not provide you feedbacks, but you should always ask for it. It might be the case that you will keep on thinking ki I did well or not. It is better to ask for feedbacks anyways, right? And third thing is ki all the questions asked to me in interview was very open ended questions, right? So the interviewer won't be giving you each and every detail of what the question is around and how it should be solved, or any of the major hints. So it's you who should be understanding the requirements clearly, right? Matlab you should be constantly asking him questions ki if I'm following this, then this should happen. You should be conversing with yourself as well, but as well as the interviewer too. So yeah, that is one point. Don'ts majorly is like I would want to mention ki if one of your interview is clear, then don't just stop there. Like this was a major mistake of mine that I did. Ki I got my offer pretty early, like around July only. So I was chilling chilling till January 2023 after that. So don't do that. Try for all the companies out there. Whatever opportunity you are getting, maybe you will find something better at any point of time. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience with us. After this, I would like to welcome Arun, sir.
Hello everyone. So as you know, I'm Arun Shekhar, and I've been working as a front-end engineer as at Brahma.Fi. And can you please share the doc as well? Yeah. So today I'm gonna talk about how you can target remote jobs at startup basically that are multinational and usually pay in USD rather than INR. Like Indian startups may, like you may want to target Indian startup as well, but I would recommend to expand your horizon and look for a startup remote jobs that are from different countries as well. So yeah. Uh, so why you should target a good startup that is off campus? Because first of all, in the 23 batch, because I have a developer background, so there weren't many companies that were hiring for a developer role, and I felt like there were very few companies there for me to apply for, and the pay was not that good as well. So I opted not to sit in the on-campus hiring, rather than choose off-campus and try to find a good startup that can help me grow as a developer. So yeah, that's why. Like one of my good friend has a good knowledge of data structure, and still he couldn't get a job on campus. So you might want to like know what is the procedure of off campus hiring, what are the techniques you should apply to get a job in off campus. So another point is you'll get to learn a lot of stuff in short amount of time, and because the team is small and you'll be given a lot of responsibilities during your work. So and which might be like differentiate with the work you do. That might be different technologies you'll have to work. So it's a good thing that you're gonna expand your horizons, and startups which have remote culture and multinational usually pay a good amount of salary and can go for from like 15k USD, 20k USD to 30 plus k USD. That is like 16 LK to 25 or more. That solely depends on your skills. If you have great skills, you have done made good projects and did open source, you can go beyond 25 LP as well, like 30, 40. It's quite easy. You just need to have good skills. Also, since teams are very small, in startup, usually there are no to very low layoffs, and you get the ownership of your features. You'll see what you're pushing, the code you're pushing. You'll get to see very early when compared to MNCs, as Mridul stated earlier. So, and one of the good point is you'll get to work from your home at flexible hours, and you'll not be stuck in the traffic in Delhi or Bangalore. So that is a really good point for me. So, and you'll get a choice to choose a company based on your skills, and you can opt for, like, if you are a React developer, you can apply for React jobs. Web backend, you can apply for that. So it's really a good thing to have. And which startup you should target as a beginner. So try not to opt for a startup that is in very early stages. You should check out the startup page and check if they have any funding or not. You should choose a startup that has a good amount of funding and that has been like stable for a while now. And try to select a company where you can get a mentor. As a beginner, I would not recommend that you are working with no supervisor. Having a mentor can exponentially increase your growth as a developer. So I would recommend, if you ask your company, like, if you're gonna get a mentor or not, and start up with good work policies. And you should not apply for startups that the shady startups that ask for money. Like, they're gonna give you training, but you have to submit amount of money. So you should not opt for that. And like, choose a company that has a good work policy and like clearly written all the working hours and holidays, etc. So third question will be like, where I can find these startups, the openings. So you can, my recommendation would be Well Found, and that was previously known as Angel.co. You can get a load amount of startup opening there, and you can directly apply and see the company's job posting and profile people who work there. So it's a really good website where you can find startup jobs. Other than that, you can check for LinkedIn jobs where you can apply filters, and or just Google like remote jobs. You can find any new website. There are lots of new websites which have like remote jobs opening. So you can search there as well. So I found there are like three stages in the when you are applying for off campus. Like broadly, these are the three stages that I have listed down below, and we are gonna go each of the stage one by one. So stage one is you're looking for the opening for the job. So these are the important points that you should consider when you're looking. So first of all, you need to identify which skill is your like primary skill, like you're a front end or back end or like a Android developer. You need to identify that which job profile you're looking for. Then you just filter smartly, like put the filter like a front end developer, back end developer. So you can you can get the jobs that are more relevant to you only, and you will not see other kinds of job. And one more thing that I felt like students usually when they look at the job description, they get scared by looking at all the technologies that are mentioned there. Like they're looking for junior front end developer, yet they have mentioned like you should know front end, you should know cloud, you should know some parts of back end. So people get scared and they think like I'm not suitable for this profile. This should not be the case. Like if you have two or three matching skills that are relevant in the description, you should definitely apply there and see if you like you get shortlisted or not. But you should not like get scared watching the description only. You should definitely apply there. And your first priority should be getting in an interview. You should not think I should be selected or not. No, your first priority is getting selected for the interview, and for that you need to make your proposal so that you can get selected for the interview. And like look everywhere, don't limit yourself to just few of the websites. Search on the Google everywhere, like ask for your seniors, your peers, just ask them if they have any job opening, so you can like apply everywhere that need to be. And one more thing, like this is new. You can use AI like ChatGPT to improve your resume. The introduction that you have to give during the interview, and like your basic presentation. You should improve that and use AI to help yourself. So you don't have to like ask for small stuff for everyone. Just use the AI, and you need to build publicly. If you are working on a project, you just made it with your friend or like completed a hackathon, just post it anywhere like LinkedIn, Twitter, anywhere you prefer. Just build publicly. The second stage is sending proposal. So you need to master the art of sending proposals, because that's what's gonna get you into the interview or like final stage, the selection. So yeah, you need to master the sending proposal. You need to master that. First, like you need to tailor your resume to the best version possible. Get it reviewed by your senior. Ask them where I'm lacking, what phrases should I use to like make it more concise, and it should be the best version you can make of. All right. So use senior or like AI, and try to add a project that solves real world problem, not like clones website you see on YouTube, like Reddit clone, Instagram clone. I want prefer that type of projects in your resume. So one trick that you can use to uh, like where to find your mind, a question should be coming to your mind like where can I find the good project which solves a real world problem. So like you can check the hackathons. In hackathons, there's usually a problem statement that revolves around a real world problem. So you can use that statement to build a project upon that, and like build more features into that, continuously improve that, and there you'll have it a project that solves a real world problem. So add that in your resume, and never send a PDF format of your resume when you're asking for referrals or asking for like a job on the well-found platform. So you make a shortened public URL for your resume, which you can share, because nobody wants to download your PDF resume because they might think it have like it's for the security concerns. So you should have a public URL for your resume, like make in a Google Doc or anything. And if you're applying for a multiple role, like I was a full stack developer, so I had like different domains that I could apply for, like front end, back end, cloud, and like domains like this. So I tailored my resume for each profile. For front end, I focused more on telling about my front end projects, and for back end, I had more like explain more about my back end projects. So you might want to consider making a different resume for different profile. So, and after that, like try to prepare a proposal template that you can use for when applying for different jobs. You should like, well, when students apply for a job, they usually like write at that time only and come up with all the stuff they need to write. Just make a template that you can reuse everywhere you apply. So I've also attached a template down below the doc that you can look and like check out. And always remember, it's not about you, it's about the value you can provide to the company. When you are writing your proposal, you should not write everything just centering around you. You should talk about what value you can provide to the company. Like if a company has a tech stack that is like React, Next, Tailwind, you should rather not talk about all the other things that you can do. Like you have a good experience in data structures. The company is not looking for that. The company is looking for a guy who can build features around React and Tailwind, etc. So you should talk about that. You should focus on things you know that is going to help the company. So make it about the company but not yourself. And when applying for a company from different platforms, you might want to check their LinkedIn page and connect with the people that were there to ask like what the company is about, like more details about the company and the profile they're looking for. You should ask like you should go into the people page in the LinkedIn and send them a note along with your resume. Ask them for referral or get it reviewed by those people. It's really gonna help you like stand apart from the crowd that are applying, because you're more interested in the company and you're going beyond just applying. You're talking with the employees there. So you should definitely send a personalized note to the employees of the company, even send to the CEO. It doesn't matter. If you're targeting a startup, the team is very small. So you should consider sending a personalized note with your resume to the CEO and all the developers there. Like, you should not shy. You should not be shy around that, and apply in companies as much as possible. Apply from any job opening that you see. If you're really looking for a job, you should apply everywhere that you can find, And you should not be hopeless when you are rejected, because when I was applying, I was getting rejected from a lot of companies. So I was getting a little bit of like hopeless, like my all my projects were not that good, thinking about that. So because the competition is really high, and they might not have looked into you and find the right guy earlier than you, so you should not be hopeless. Just apply in companies, and in the end you might get better than all the companies you applied before. So yeah. Then talking about the third stage, that is the interview. So in startups, usually they verify your skills by giving you an assignment. Like the assignment could be given to you earlier the interview or after the interview. Regardless, you should work on the assignment as hard as you can. And if it's a hard task, you should definitely ask your seniors or peers for help. Like you should not try to do everything alone by yourself. I used to do that. I tried to build the assignment only by myself, and took a lot of time for me, like to understand the problem, building the application, and checking for any bugs. So you should definitely consider taking help from your seniors or peers, because like if you're gonna if a friend helps you, then you will definitely help him as well. So think from that perspective. If you help your friend getting selected for a job, when there's an opening of a job in his company, he might definitely think of you and like help you get that job. So yeah, definitely help your friends getting the job, because it's a collective effort, and definitely it's going to help you build a strong network and like grow as a developer. And after in the during the interview, if you are selected for the interview, you should do a company profile, like background check before the interview, because people are definitely going to ask you if you know what the company do, what it's about. So if you go blank minded there, it will be a really big red flag. So you should definitely do a background check on the company prior to the interview, and always have an introduction prepared for your interview. And you'll get confidence only by giving interviews. That's what I did. I gave interviews, and like at the end I was really good at it. The you should be giving a lot of interviews, and then you will be able to like see the difference between your earlier interviews and later on. You'll be so much more confident giving interviews. And always get your basics clear. If you're a React developer like me, I used to I used to prepare the interview questions from website called InterviewBit, because it have a really good question set of question that can be asked from the basics of the technology that you're using. So InterviewBit is a really good platform where you can master your basics of the technologies that you're going to talk about in the interview, and be persistent. That's like the most important point during the whole process. Always revert back and answer the question that you were not able to give during the interview. In startups, they usually look for a guy who can go beyond his limits and like work on the domain where he's lacking. So if you are not able to give some answers during the interview, you can write a short note, like do your own research, uh, learn about that topic, write a blog or short note and send it to the employer. And so you look like you are really interested in the company, and you can improvise yourself and overcome your counts. So after the interview, and you should definitely write your weak points and improvise for the next interview, because it is a like never-ending process. You'll be giving a lot of interviews, so it's better that you write down all your weak points and improvise on them. So yeah, if you're gonna reject it, like just apply, reapply, and get the one day you'll get the job. So here you can see the proposal template that you can use on Wellfound. Check out the Wellfound website. It's really good when you're applying for startups. And you'll also see the LinkedIn short note template there that you can use. If you scroll down a bit more, you'll see a LinkedIn template. Uh, more, yeah, this one. So you can use this for asking for referral, or you just need to ask it like you need to want to get this resume reviewed or something like that, and like just keep the talking, and you'll ask for referral as well during that conversation. So that is from my side, and that's how you can like target startup remote jobs. Basically it's really easy. You just not need not to give up, just apply and apply, and one day you'll get the job that you wanted. uh, Thanks for inviting me, guys. That's it from my side.
Thank you, sir. We are grateful for the knowledge and perspective gained through your shared experience. Continuing, I am inviting Ishita ma'am.
Hi everyone. So yeah, so I'm working as a full stack developer at Mellon. So I participated through Code Divas, which was held in August 2021, and from there I secured a 2 month, 10-week summer internship, and based on my performance, I was given a full-time role, and then I asked for a 6-month intern as well. So the procedure is that Codivas is a hiring procedure for BNY Mellon, and they usually hire girls from off campus. So it consists of 4 rounds. There are 2 online assessments, and there are 2 interviews. Codivas is held for multiple roles. It's either for 2 month intern, either for 6 month intern, or for like full time employees. So in case of internship, the rounds remain same. There are 4 rounds, 2 OAs and 2 interviews. And if you are directly applying for a full-time role, so you'll have 2 online assessments and 3 interviews. So in my case, the first round was held in sometime near August 2021, and it consisted of 3 DSA problems. They were medium, hard, and there's no language constraint for the first round. And you do get marks for partial marking. So even if you're not able to solve the complete question, you can always try to start with the brute force approach, and then you can move on to like optimize it accordingly. And the time was 2.5 hours, and the topics asked generally for this year as well, they were DP graphs, trees, and sorting algorithms. Mainly it's graph and trees. Like one question was of DP and the other two was of graph and trees. And sometimes the question can be mixed as well, including one or more topics. So yes, and comparing the difficulty level, I would say the question they were new questions. They were not like from LeetCode or any other platform. But comparing the difficulty, I would say if we compare from LeetCode, so it would be LeetCode medium and LeetCode hard. And if we compare for the like with code forces, so I would say it would be code forces 1500, 1800, and 2000 for my case when it was held. The based on this, the cutoff is declared based on the number of candidates who have applied, and then you get selected for the next round, which is again an online assessment. But this time there's a twist, like there's one DSA problem, and that too with a language constraint. You have to solve it either using Java or Python. And then there's one SQL problem. This SQL problem has the most marks. Like if the DSA problem has a score of 50, so SQL would be for 100 marks. It would be a scenario, and they basically expect you to write multiple queries, multiple. It's basically situation-based question, and they are trying to test how would you handle the situation, what exactly would you do to put data, how would you create a database, and how would you uh, put data into that table and perform various operations. So it consists of several subparts, which in which you have to basically perform operations on that table that you had created initially. And there are 10 MCQ problems, and MCQ problems have negative marking as well. So you have to be very careful with the options you are choosing. And like and they're not easy, like they're not found anywhere. They have like proper in-depth knowledge, testing questions, white box testing, black box testing, and oops, and then DBMS questions are, and networking is like these 4 topics are very important. Based on these online assessments, since I had applied for summer internship, I had to wait like 3 to 4 months before my first round of interview was scheduled. And if you're applying for 6 months or full time roles, then they're probably prioritized by them. And like they are given more preference, so those rounds are conducted initially. For the summer interns, we have to wait for like some time before we have the interviews. So the interview consisted of one DSA problem, which was Lead Code Hard, and my my tip would be that you should always for these MNCs specifically, you can always do their archives because they have a database of questions, and there are very likely chances that your question would be somewhat similar to the questions that you have practiced. So in the time that you have to prepare for your interviews, I would say that it would be very good if you have practiced such type of questions. It becomes a little easier to solve the question, and it's not entirely new. You have some good knowledge that these are the type of questions that they usually ask. So yeah, and there is no language barrier. Again, you can solve it in whatever language you are comfortable with. And then my interview, like we had a very minor discussion about projects, like hardly 10 or 15 minutes uh, they took for a for a discussion on the projects, and then they switched on to the computer fundamentals. So we had almost uh, 40 to 45 minutes of discussion on computer fundamentals. Like oops is their favorite, so you have to be like very thorough with the concept of oops, networking, and database management. And apart from that, they'll give you many scenarios where they'll actually check how you are thinking, in which direction you are thinking. So there are many scenario based questions, like they were for me. So it depends on the interview as well. And after 1 week of the interview, they send you the mail that you are cleared for the round uh, almost next day itself, and they scheduled it almost 1 week later. And for me, it was scheduled around 10 days later, and then it was 45 minutes round, and they asked one low level design question. So they basically asked, they were he was trying to check if the way in which I can think, my approach to the problem, if I'll be able to solve it or not. So and the interviews are very helpful for like for this for BNY Mellon. The interviews are very helpful. Even if you are stuck, they'll try to give you hints, so which will help you to think out of the box. And like I gave the answer that they were actually expecting. And again, this round consisted of some oops discussion because like I said, they have a very much, they have an appetite for oops. So oops is very important because almost all the code base that we work on here is based out of Java and Spring Boot only. So yeah, and then they ask us if we are ready to like learn Java even if we don't know it properly, and like would we be able to willing to like would we be willing to relocate because it is a on-site job. So it consists of many HR questions as well. So they basically want to know if we are aligned with the company policies, and there were one or two scenario-based questions as well, like what they basically want to see if we are a good fit for the company. So that also matters, communication matters, I would say. So that's it. I mean, the procedure consisted of this, and then based on the performance of the summer intern, like they basically assign you projects, and it is very like it's better to have a PPO in hand. So like in my case, I got a PPO, and then I was assured that I'd at least have one offer. So one mistake that I did, like Mridul, that I didn't prepare that much for other interviews. So yeah, you can avoid that. You can get one offer in hand and then start preparing for other companies as well, which like obviously there is something better out there, even if you have anything. So yeah, that's important. Some tips that I would like to give is that the interviewers are very helpful. I mean, I have given multiple interviews uh, over the last 1 year, and I see that the more interviews you give, the more confident you become, the more communication skills, the better communication skills you develop, and then uh, you have like if you have anxiety issues, so they'll be lowered down. And then I mean, the more interviews you give, it is kind of a practice. So I would suggest you can have mock interviews among your friends, among your seniors, with your seniors, uh, and that's very helpful. But yes, you should not be afraid of giving any interview because you always get to learn new things, new topics after, and every interview provides you with a different new experience. And you should have a knowledge of what you have actually written in your resume before you appear for any interview. Like they actually ask you, and then you don't have time to check, oh, did I write that, and oh, did I not write that. So yeah, you should have that written in the resume what you know. And even if you are not comfortable with language or something completely, just don't write it, because like it does not like put you in good eyes of the interviewer if you have written something that you're not very proficient in. So yeah, you should be well versed with your resume with only those things that you actually know. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Your experience sharing was incredibly insightful to us, ma'am. Moving on, I want to invite Vivek, sir.
Okay, so hello everyone, and so now I'll be sharing some insights about the Zenon, the placement procedures, and the things that you should not do and you should do for the preparation of that. First of all, I would like to give a note like freshers hiring in the Zenon is done only through the on campus, so there is no way you can join this company through off campus. So that is a bummer. So regarding the placement procedure, there is round one. In the round one, we are having a written test. It is an MCQ. It is a pen paper based MCQ in which there are three sections. So in the first section, you are having the aptitude questions, the general aptitude questions like maths puzzles and all. In the section two, there are DSA general coding means coding part is there in the section two, and all the computer fundamentals and all. In the section three, there are database and SQL. Now for the Xenon, there is one main thing. You should be much proficient with the database and SQL part, or you will not be able to join this company. So I will be very clear with this. Like if you are not having knowledge of database and you are not having knowledge of SQL, basic SQL and like building some queries, like you cannot crack these interviews. I'll be very honest with that. So keep that in mind. So in the written test, one tip I would like to give everyone, like you should focus more on the section 2 and 3 because section 1 is of less weightage and you should not waste much of your time in the aptitude section. You should attempt and you should like about 50% you should be able to give there, but not much. Next, like in the round two will be conducted on the next day of the written test, and like the selection ratio is very low. About only 10% of the people who sit for the written test are able to clear to the interviews. So yeah, that's like that. And the round two, there are about 3 to 4 technical interviews. Means they are generally 4, but in rare cases 3 may also happen. So these are the face-to-face interviews offline in the campus. So in the 3 to 4 technical interviews, there is no means fixed format, but they mostly focus on these following topics. First, the DSA is there. DSA is common for I think all the companies that are in on campus or mostly off campus also, except some startups. So DSA part is there, and you can expect general questions like till the lead code medium. If you are able to do lead code medium, you will be able to crack this DSA questions part. So that will not be a problem. Next, you are having the database and SQL. Like I said earlier also, the database and SQL is the major part of this company. So you should be proficient in that. In this, like you will be asked some questions about, like you will be given some situation that you need to build a data model. Like you may okay, like you may expect something like they give a industry based example and you need to prepare a data model, and after preparing that data model you need to build some SQL queries about like in the select SQL statements are there. So that type of questions are very important in these interviews. Apart from DSA and database and SQL, you will also be asked some computer fundamentals. Now, computer fundamentals are not like you don't need to go into much depth, but you should be clear with the basic topics like OOPS and OS. But nothing is guaranteed means you should be prepared for everything in the computer fundamentals as well. Now, in the technical interviews part, one thing is there that Ishita, Mridul, and all also said, like you should be well versed with everything mentioned in the resume. You should be able to, like, if the interview point out some word in the resume, like what is this? You should be able to explain it properly. You should not hesitate, like at the last moment, like why I have mentioned this in my resume. Like that preparation is very much necessary. So these 3 to 4 technical interviews are pretty long, like about 1 hour each, and these all happen in a single day. So like this interview day is very hectic, so you need to prepare for that also. Uh, After this, like if you clear all these rounds, like you will be having an HR interview as well after these rounds if you clear these rounds. So in the HR interview, that will be on the same day itself. Will be about half an hour round. That will be general HR discussions that are common in almost all the companies. Like they will tell some company policies and all. The results are usually get announced on the next working day. So like there is not much anxiety. Okay, so coming on to the do's and don'ts. In the round one, time management is the key. You should read the format. First of all, before starting the test, the format you should read carefully and attempt the written test strategically. Like you should prepare a strategy so that you should be able to do most of the questions. Like there are some questions that may be there in the round for just to confusing, for creating confusion and taking your time. So you should avoid that thing. So round one, if you are well in time management and your skills are good, you will easily clear round one. Most of the people get rejected in round one because of lack of these things only. Next, like you should be having a solid introduction, and all of your resume should be reflected in that. Like your skills are there, experience, hackathons, and all. Those all should be there in the introduction. You should not miss anything, and yeah. In the written test, now this is a note type like those. In the written test, you should be very honest. There is no scope of any help. And also, the questions from the written test will be asked in the interviews. Like I have mentioned, may be asked, but they probably will get asked. So in the interviews, you will be asked that questions. So be prepared for that also. Uh, Next, going to the don'ts. Like this is a I think harsh point, but I think this works in the some interviews. Like if you are not having any idea about a question that is being asked, just you can say no. Like you don't have to answer if you are having no idea. Just absolutely if you are blank, so you should say no. Like if you try to answer something else for that question, that may give a bad impression also. If you say no, the interviewer will switch to the next question, and he or she will like ask another question in place of this. Like following this point only, the interview time is very crucial and there is a set limit on the time. So you should not waste that time. Like if interviewer has given some time, like if the interviewer give 5 minutes for solving any questions, like so you should not take more than 5 minutes. That is not the interviewer's loss, that is your loss only. So these are some of the harsh points about the interviews, but I think these are pretty clear that interviews should be done strategically, not only for the Zenon, like for about I think in every company also. Now regarding the Zenon work culture and all, like the work culture in the Zenon is very good. If you get to join this company, you will not regret. That's for sure. And like there is being a small company and it is having a very good clients, like you won't believe the client base we are having. Like you will be able to work on the real projects from the clients that you know. Like there are so many clients, I cannot mention the name, but there are so many big clients that we work for. And also every senior is available for help all the time. So, and there is a flat hierarchy structure also. So yeah, like this company is very well, but the interview process and the selection procedure is a bit tough according to me. So you can see that thing also. Yeah, Suraj, you can move to the next one. That is on from my side.
Thank you, sir. Following that, I would like to invite Anjali ma'am.
So, hi again, everyone. Uh, so, I'm currently working at Adobe. It is a product-based company headquartered at San Jose, and it has several products around several spaces: creativity, documentation, advertising, and many more. So, like I mentioned previously, I was able to get an internship at Adobe, through which I got a performance-based placement offer. And mostly, I'll be talking about the process around it. So, in my third year, I was preparing to get an internship, and for the same, I applied at several places. It was around September, October that Adobe conducted a program, She Codes, to hire summer interns, and I was able to clear that. So, like other software and product-based companies, which hire for the critical job profile of software development, they have similar interview process and other assessments to test your technical knowledge around coding and stuff. So, the process to get an internship at Adobe had a couple of rounds, for which it started with an online assessment, and this online assessment had several time-bound sections, which targeted your knowledge around specific areas. So a section of it targeted your cognitive skills, your aptitude, and also these were the MCQ based questions. So the next one tested your technical knowledge, typically your computer fundamentals and stuff around that. Uh, the next round had two coding problems. I would rate them around easy to medium, and you were allowed to code in your language of choice, your preferred language. And after these coding problems, there was a peculiar gamified section, and it basically tested your skills around logics and more towards the cognitive skills, and your it was a bit peculiar in a sense that you would not have seen it in different companies. It would test your memory, your pattern matching, and stuff like that. Post the assessment, your resume goes a check, and and it is tested by the people who are currently working in Adobe at some higher positions. It goes through a holistic check. So and if you get through it, you are invited for an interview. It is generally an hour or 1.25 hour duration conversation between you and the interviewer. And within the interview process, they ask you a couple of questions. These are some medium level questions. So a question and then a follow up question around that. And they ask you to not only explain your approach, but also code that question out in a text editor. So not an ID, in a text editor. Uh, Also, you are expected to get some good questions on computer fundamentals and some inner language specific questions. So, for instance, Java is my primary language, and you could expect questions around JVM, a detailed discussion around its architecture, some questions around how garbage collection works in Java, and other things. So the interview was the last round. Uh, it is the round only. It is the round where not only they test your aptitude but also your attitude as well. So there is no so-called HR round. This is the round wherein you are assessed uh, fully. So also they can ask you some questions like why do you want to work, some questions around what do you know about the company, the firm, and also you should know about the company and also have a set of questions that you can ask the interviewer. Always ask for a feedback if they don't give upfront. uh, so most of the tips and do's and don'ts have been covered by the people who have addressed everyone previously. But since I got placed through the path of initially getting an internship and then landing into a full-time opportunity, I would speak around some general points regarding this. So, doing an internship definitely adds a lot to you, not only to your resume but to you as a person. It gives you a very fresh perspective of how things happen in an organization, and people are very supportive. The team you work in, uh, they help you whenever you ask for help, and it boosts your confidence, and also you stand a chance to get placed before the placement season starts. So some general do's I would like to highlight would be, yeah, look out for hiring opportunities actively. So you should always be quick to initiate your application process. There are several good companies, several big fortune companies who openly shares about their plans to hire summer interns or winter interns or in general any intern. You should always be ready to apply for them. Uh, you should always be ready to apply before time. So don't wait for the due date to come near you, and you should apply it before time. Also give it a thought. Your application should always be customized to according to the company you're applying for. So a bit about cold mails and LinkedIn connections. You can also land into a good internship opportunities by directly reaching out to the talent acquisition teams. Um, I would not go in very much detail around cold mails and LinkedIn connections because Arun has already explained it in a better manner. uh, Also, yeah, do not forget to perform well in your internship. Yeah, always remember you had worked really hard to get that internship, and you should not leave any stone unturned to convert it into a full-time opportunity. And this would be for the do's. A bit about how should you perform in your internship. So in an internship, you would be working on either a POC or a MVP. So you should have throughout knowledge of your project that you're working, and the technology, or how your project is going to impact your organization. Initially, your team, just the services or the things that your team work on, and then to the organization. And you should have throughout knowledge of how this is something that can be converted into a full-fledged feature, if not right now, in the future. And something about don'ts, I would say, yeah, don't write extra skills just for the sake of building resume. That is a very generic don't. Have your resume built, give it a thought, give give time while building your resume, a generic resume, and always customize your resume whenever you're applying for different companies. Most of the companies focus on some technical aspects and some coding problems. It is the weightage that each company gives to different sections. So do know, have good knowledge of about the company, about the profile you're setting you out for. And yeah, that's it. uh, that is all from my side. In any queries or questions, I'm always available. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. At last, I would like to propose an invitation to Priyal, ma'am.
Uh, Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So, hello guys. I guess I did cover my introduction before, but yeah, for all those who weren't available, hello, I'm Priyal Tiwari. I've completed my BTech in 2023 in computer engineering, and I'm currently placed in PureSoftware as a backend developer on Artha, their fintech platform. I even did my internship from here itself on the same project. So, now let's talk about the selection procedure. So, firstly, the selection procedure started in or around October. So, yeah, round one was of 90 minutes. The section one was MCQs, which consisted of aptitude, in-depth DSA knowledge, OOPS, SQL, and majorly Java questions. Like they had asked output questions on Java servlets. So do not forget to go through them before sitting for this company. If you ask me about the level of the questions, it was mostly medium level. Now, going over to section two, that was a problem solving section, that is DSA problems that consisted of 4 questions. And since they weren't clear with their instructions, so I ended up doing all 4 questions. Um, Also, one internal tip that I would like to give here is that try and solve these DSA problem solutions in Java during their assessment. Now, the reason behind that is that they exclusively look for Java people, which they never like say it out loud. Also, the level of the question again was medium to hard. Now, going over to the round two, round two was a discussion round with a technical lead wherein she or he would ask you questions based on OOPS concept, and as everyone before me have already covered on so how important OOPS concept is. So yes, be very clear with your concepts. Mm, they then they had asked uh, I mean, in my case, they had asked me linked list questions and graph questions. They had asked me to do it on the text editor itself. So also again, try solving those problems in Java. Now, round three was again a technical discussion with the technical director of the company. He would that this level would uh, depend on the projects that you worked on in the past. They would ask you like what are the projects that you have worked on. So my tip here would be, mm, tell them those projects that try to solve a real time problem. They'll be really impressed by that. I'm telling you from a personal experience. So yeah, and then there was an HR interview where they basically asked me some future aspected questions like where do I see again those basic questions like where do I see myself in 5 years or 10 years or how do I plan to manage my future studies and company work together or what are my future plans, etc. Now going over to the do's and don'ts, talking about the do's first. Yes, this is very important. Try not to mention irrelevant skills. For example, you're good at dancing or singing. You can definitely mention them in the extracurricular section if you have achieved a recognized position in the same. And try and cover all the technical skills required for the specific role in the specific company. This was a very good advice given by one of my Manan seniors when I was preparing for my placements. That is, always tailor your resume according to the role and the company that you're looking for. Always research about the company that you're applying to. Always. That is very important. Also, next, talking about honesty. Yeah, try and be as honest as possible. But yeah, you can definitely mention a project if you think that solution can solve a real time problem. So you can mention that project and have a little idea about how you're going to execute the same. By this point, I'm not telling you to be dishonest, please. So if any HR of any company is watching this, I really am not. So going over to the next do's. I guess I have already mentioned this point, but yes, again, it's preferable to mention those projects that solve a real time problem. I remember in my project showcase round, that is in the second discussion round with the director, he was really impressed how my project solves a real time problem and how doable that was. Yeah, I did work on the project a bit, but the way I explained it to him, that was very important and that should be impressive. Now, talking about the don't, about this, yeah, I don't think so. There should be anyone who should ignore feedbacks from their mentors or seniors or anyone who acquires the knowledge or even the experience of the process. Sure, you can cross check that, do your proper research on the same, and then come up with a proper conclusion. But never ignore what they are saying. One more topic that uh, I want to talk about here is that all these processes are meant to make you anxious. So don't think that you are the only one who's facing that. Everyone is experiencing the same. It really doesn't matter if some XYZ person gets placed before you. You really should know your level so that you can filter the companies accordingly if you are going for on campus. I don't think so. I have to talk about off campus as Mridul and Arun and everyone before me have explained it very like nicely. So yeah, since I faced the same, the problem that I just mentioned, so thought being your senior, you should know better. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. And if you have any problems, you can always come and ask me or ping me or call me. I don't think so. Pinging is a nice way. You can call me directly. I will try to be available. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, ma'am. Grateful for the valuable experience. As we know, learning from Mahabharata also make us accept that in the journey of life, a wise Sarthi can help navigate even the most challenging roads. I would like all seniors to share how the Manan, a techno search club, has been a Sarthi in their journey to their dream company. Starting with Mridul sir.
Yeah, so talking about Manan, like I wasn't selected into Manan for the first year. I was selected in the second year, So like a lot of seniors guided a lot me about open source during that phase. I didn't know about open source before that. Matlab, I was working on it, I was exploring it, but the right path to crack some like GSoC only. So Sangyam sir provided me that path, and then there was like talking about interviews only. We had some internal sessions in inside Manan only, which helped a lot. Like seniors are always a source of inspiration. So yeah, Manan kind of helped a lot during that. So if you are targeting to join Manan, then you are welcome. Yeah, so that's it from my end.
Arun sir,
Hello. Sorry, I was spaced out. Can you repeat?
I want you to share how Manan Techno Search Club has helped in your journey to your dream company.
Yeah, so I joined Manan in my first year. So earlier I was making a terminal-based application in Python, which was not like user-friendly. So one of the senior, Anshul sir, he was in third year at that time. So he told me you should explore web technologies more, like front end, back end. So that was the start of my journey as a full stack developer. And that helped me a lot in gaining so much knowledge, like how applications are built, how you can like build your own features. So that helped me getting internship in my third year and finally landing a job in the placement season. That's in the fourth year. So yeah, being in Manan helped me a lot because of the guidance the seniors gave me and all the time they supported me. Because sometimes when you're getting rejected from many companies, so you feel a little down and you think about yourself like if what you have done since first year will it help or not. So that's when you consult your seniors. So as the Manan member, it helped me a lot talking about seniors in Manan. So it was a really great experience to be in Manan and uh, I was a joint secretary there, so I did a few events as well. That was really really good for me to grow as in communication and as an organizer. So in that domain, it helped me as well. And I would like to tell you all the juniors in Manan or anyone who's here, like you can reach out to us since now we are kind of a senior. We would love to help you all to grow and like if you have any queries, questions, just ping us or call us any way you prefer on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, any medium. Just reach out to us. We would love to help you all to land your first job or internship. And thanks again for inviting me today here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite Ishita ma'am.
So I'm a part of Manan since my first year, and since I didn't, frankly speaking, I did not have any experience in computer field. I didn't even study CS as a subject in my plus two. So Manan actually helped me a lot. Like it showed me the various paths that are actually available for a career in tech, and I made so many connections here, the seniors among our peers, with our juniors that. And it actually helped me to network a lot. And apart from that, Manan has always been there. Like we could reach out to our senior batches, irrespective of we knowing them or not. So yeah, that helped a lot. I personally message so many seniors, so it helps in getting referrals as well. So that is a plus point. And in fact, all seniors are so helpful, and we can always rely on them that they will be there to help us no matter what. So yeah, Manan has helped me a lot. And apart from that, during our journey, we had a lot of parties and uh, trips as well. So that was a crucial part for our college life as well. So Manan has been a really essential part of my college life for me.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, Vivek, sir. Please elaborate the Manan help for you. How Manan help for you.
Okay, like for me, like most of the things, like it helped me provide various opportunities like meeting with the seniors and also like interacting, building my network, and like I got various mentorship and all also from the students that were there in the Manan and also in the alumni. Apart from the mentorship from the seniors, I would also like to mention like we also get opportunity to interact with our juniors, like talented juniors as well. Like we mentioned that part means sometimes less, but like interacting with talented juniors also help a lot in building own career. Like it helped a lot in that also. And also like when Manan conducted various events, like there are various coding contests and another competitions also. So it provided the exposure to that type of competitiveness also. So yeah, that helped me a lot. So yeah, that was my experience in Manan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, Anjali ma'am, how Manan makes a clear path to your dream company.
Yeah, so I became part of Manan from the very first year itself. And I had a very basic knowledge of front end technologies, and I had studied computer science in my 11th and 12th, so this knowledge helped me land into the club. And Manan, a techno search is a coding society, and uh, as the name suggests, it gives you exposure around coding and the technologies that are there presently. So it does this through conducting several internal sessions, which I were a part of, and you get to interact with seniors, super seniors who are actually working, and also there are hackathons conducted internally, which gives you a very good experience of development and working in a team. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of. Apart from that, you build some great networks, which you would cherish for your lifetime. So yeah, uh, this has been a great club, and I feel good to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, Priyal ma'am, how Manan hold your hand all along in your journey.
As Manan as a club helped me grow in various aspects, both technically and as a person. I was a part of Manan since my first year. My seniors were really very helpful. They used to guide me a lot, be it referrals or filtering out my resumes, or guiding me throughout the placement process, or be it internal sessions. And they are still available when I need their help. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have learned from beginning that practice makes a man perfect. But I say perfect practice makes a man perfect. And for perfect practice, one must have some things to keep in mind always. One must know and be aware of do's and don'ts. For all this, I would like to thank our seniors for enlightening us. Now we can move some fun activity for rapid fire round. Ayush.
Now we have all listened to the seniors, their experiences, their knowledge, and lessons by them. Now it's time for a fun activity that is rapid fire round, in which each senior will choose an option for the following questions. So our first question is first bencher, last bencher, or sleeping in the class. So I would like every senior to give their opinions on this. We can start by Mridul sir.
Yeah, sorry, I was not here. Can you please repeat?
So we are now doing a rapid fire round. In that, I will give ask some questions, and you will have to just answer. So first is first bencher, last bencher, and sleeping in the class.
Well, I did not go to college most of the times, but the But the days I went, I was mostly a front bencher only. ऐसे
Okay,
पीछे
next I
बैठना
would like
पसंद था.
next we can go with Vivek sir.
Yeah, like all three. Like if there is some interesting subject, then first bencher also. If there is a boring subject, last bencher, and sometimes I slept in the class also. So all three are there, but most of the times last bench.
Okay, sir. Next we can go with Arun sir.
So I never reached last on time. So first one, sitting on first bench was never an option. I was always in the back bench and sleepy because yeah, last night I was doing something else and slept late. So yeah, last bench and being sleepy is my answer.
Now we can go with Ishita ma'am.
I was in the middle benches, not the category to sit in the first bench, and neither to sit at the last bench.
Okay.
Now Anjali ma'am.
Yeah, I would say the same, somewhere around the middle, wherever you get seat, probably. And sleepy, yeah.
Now Priyal ma'am.
Whenever I used to attend my classes, I and my group were always the last benchers, obviously. So yeah.
Okay. So now second question is flat life, PG life, and hostel life. So which one of both were you guys?
For me, it was like I was a day scholar. So none of
Me as well. I was a day scholar as well.
Me
COVID life,
too.
COVID life. Not flat life, not PG life, COVID
Study
life.
from home.
ये ऑप्शन रह गया.
like hostel से कौन था यहाँ पर?
I was in hostel for,
It
I
was
guess, 1 year. I don't know, 1 year. So yeah, and
We
after
have
that,
not even given the option for the hostels.
yeah, very nice.
हमारे
That's
टाइम
a
पे
nice
तो
option.
हॉस्टल
That's a nice option.
हमारे टाइम पे तो सर हॉस्टल ही टूट गए हैं सो ऑप्शन ही नहीं है हमारे पास. So now others on any opinions on this?
Flat life is the best. Like you get to, you have your own freedom. Like whenever you want, go out, come in, no restrictions. Make your own food, anything. So flat life is best for me.
but I guess expenses थोड़े ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं flat life में तो find an intern
पीजी
first.
पीजी और हॉस्टल से कम ही रहते हैं फ्लैट में. And like the perks you get, the freedom you get is like the best part of it. Like I could manage
Me too.
myself in like 7 or 8K per month. So that's pretty low compared to hostel life, I think. No?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Arun said make your own food. I would say no. It is not a perk.
But you're getting to learn to live by yourself, like doing all the things. So it's a good experience. You should have it at least once.
So next question is 90% attendance, below 75 attendance, on verge of 75 always.
It was average only. मतलब पास होने लायक जितनी चाहिए होती है उतनी maintain करके रखते थे ताकि also like Manan helped with the attendance as well. So if that is one of the reasons you want to join a club, that is okay. You can always mention कि I was busy at this event and give some applications. Yeah.
And I was like 65% most of the time. Then we were like going to the teachers and begging them for some attendance so we can qualify. That was like worst part of in the college. Attendance is the worst part. You have to maintain it so well.
I had a
90%
pretty
with the
decent.
proxy. 90% with the proxy. Else like about 50%, but by including proxies, it's about 90% in my case.
In my case, proxy didn't work, so yeah, I was on an average of 75%, I guess.
So mine was around pretty decent, around 80 to 85. Uh, Not 75, neither 90.
So next is freelancing, 9 to 5 job, both together.
What is the third option?
Both of them
Both
together.
together.
Both of them together.
Now
I
working.
would prefer a 9 to 5 job because like I need to chill after office. मतलब हो गया 9 to 5 में काम, उसके बाद तो आराम से है. फ्रीलांसिंग में होता है कि करना है. So there are projects everywhere. और लाइक फ्रीलांसिंग में एक सॉर्ट ऑफ लालच आ जाता है इंसान को कि हर जगह से पैसा कमाना है. तो आई गेस 9 to 5 इज better suitable for me.
So for me, like I would add one more option into it. Build your own startup. Why it's not an option here? So because when you're working for a startup, like it's an advantage, you get to see how products are built from the scratch, and you get the understanding how you can build your own startup. So I'm thinking of like somewhere in the future having my own startup, and yeah, that's the best part. So like actually it's the worst part from like 9 to 5 or freelancing because you don't have an option to like work anytime you prefer or like do 9 to 5. You have to work all day for when you're building your own stuff. So you have to work hard, but I'd like to do one day for the fun of it.
Do reach out to us for jobs there.
Yeah.
So yeah, currently I would definitely prefer 9 to 5 job. I would like to experience this, work under some other people who have better experience, knowledge, and the ability to get work done. And maybe later in my life, I would think of freelancing as an option, or uh, working, or continue working. I might as well. Okay.
For me as well, 9 to 5 job, because in my opinion, um, since again, what Mridul said, that you'll exhaust yourself doing a freelancing job because वही लालच वाली चीज आ जाती है. So yeah, 9 to 5 job.
I also prefer 9 to 5, but in the other time, in the free time, I prefer like some new technologies, learning about the new technologies and all, so that we keep updated with the current trends. So I prefer 9 to 5 along with some extra learning about the latest technologies.
Okay, so next question is remote job or offline job?
Hybrid.
Hybrid job any day, but offline is more suited according to me because like if you are confined to one room for the whole week, you won't feel good. Na. You would want ki you have to interact with others. मतलब, if there is some doubt of yours as well, you want to ask someone, then it's better to go to office and then that person is there, directly ask to him. So I feel ki hybrid is okay, like going 2 days in a week. That suits for me.
Yeah, so I'm basically work from home. I'm confined in this room every day and like work most of the time in this from this room and like don't frequently go out. So I would also love to do a hybrid where you get like 2 or 3 days in office and rest at home. So hybrid would be a best version, I think.
For me as well, hybrid option is the best because you will get to experience both the lives, work from home and offline. So yes.
In my case, like currently, my job only offers the offline one. but I also prefer hybrid. But that is the job limitation, so we cannot do anything about that.
Hybrid too in my case. Like we have to do 3 days from office and 2 days from home. So we
मम्मी
can
इसका
do
चार्जर
12
भी
days
देना.
in a month in office and then go wherever we want.
Already the best setup.
Nice, nice.
So now there is a question on the chat. How much maximum salary can I expect if I only do development? So advices on this?
I would like Arun to answer that.
Yes, so
लगा
during
नहीं.
the placement season, I knew only development, and when I was seeing other students getting placed on campus usually they demand you to know data structures and database and stuff. So I did not have knowledge of in that domain, and I was getting very anxious. Like, what if I don't know anything about data structure? Will I land a good job? And after that, like I started doing some little data structures and also applying for off-campus companies. I noticed like none of the off-campus companies as a developer ask for backend knowledge. I was
Like
applying for front-end. Data structure is not needed in front-end, but if I had applied for the backend role, they usually require knowledge of data structure. So that really depends on the profile that you're applying for. And solely on development skills, you can easily land a job like if I'm talking about INR, like 20 lakhs per annum to 40 lakhs per annum. Usually, if you go for multinational companies and you have really good skills and you have a public profile, you can easily land a 20 lakhs to 40 lakhs per annum job. But you have to work really hard for because there's a lot of competition in off campus and you have to stand out as a developer. You can't just rely on basic knowledge and like clones project. You have to go beyond that. You need to have a little bit experience of open source hackathons. You should be standing out apart from the crowd. So that's how you can land a good job. But other than that, like if you are a casual developer, then you can learn around like 10 lakhs per annum to 15 lakhs per annum easily, just on the development skills. No need for other structures and things.
So now we would like to end the session and move towards the Q&A session. So I'll start the questions one by one. So first question is, I want to know about industry level relevant skills and how to learn and practice them.
मतलब what all in industry level relevant skills? Look, there are a lot of tools out there like deployment tools related like Jenkins, Circle CI, and mostly industry level code is around object oriented programming only. So if you want to try your hands on industry level code, then try getting an intern or try some open source projects. Obviously, uh, yeah, that's it from my end. If there is something specific you want to ask, then please go on.
Yeah, I would like to add, like during our batch 23, so the hot topic among the startup jobs was blockchain. There were so many jobs centering around blockchain, and like so many startups that popped out in that year, around like 16 to 21 or 22. I would say the blockchain was the hot topic, but as you can see in the market right now, artificial intelligence AI jobs are really popping up for in development domain. And as I see most of the listing of the jobs, they require you to have knowledge of AI as well, uh, along with the like front end development or back end
Good evening,
development.
sir. Good
So
morning.
you need to like really get yourself updated with the current situation. And right now AI is the hot topic. So if you're a developer, you should definitely check out some like how AI works and how you can
अच्छे से
integrate
खेलेंगे सर.
AI in your projects. So it would help you like stand apart from the crowd, as I said earlier. So like you can go along with blockchain
सारे
or AI,
क्वेश्चन
and those
आंसर
jobs
अभी
paid really well
कॉलेज का
because of the
कुछ टाइम पहले
startups and AI startups
दिसंबर
right
से आई
now
गेस पेपर
starting to
चालू हो
get
गया
a really good
आंसर.
investment money. They have really good investors right now. So you should definitely check out that.
हाँ. Yes, sir.
So I would like to proceed with the next question. Dilpreet Grover has asked how to ask for referrals properly. I mean, not the way people do on YouTube and other platforms to use instead of LinkedIn because I feel it's saturated right now.
Anyone wanna go ahead and answer that?
Like I can answer
Okay.
that. Okay. Okay, I am going. So, like, if you feel that LinkedIn is saturated, so you can ask directly on WhatsApp to the seniors that you may know. So that is, I think, the best way. Apart from that, like, I don't think there is better way than LinkedIn. If you know them personally, then it is better to ask them personally on WhatsApp and all. As LinkedIn is the best. I don't think there is any good way another other than this.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is a very good networking platform. By saturation, catering your that point to make some efforts on making your profile stand out, or the message like a template shared by Arun. Have your own template, or you can use his as well. This makes you stand out. Answer the questions like why the person should give you referral. I think if that is answered well, you would definitely get a referral. And if you know the person personally, go ahead, text him, her.
Also, it's not like ki everyone is active on LinkedIn every time. So you might not need just stick to one person. Like send connection requests to tens or twenties of employees for a particular company or asking referral for, and you can message them all. Like one or two of them would definitely reply if the
जो
message
10th
that is
फेल का
sent
बोल
is
रहे हैं।
well formatted.
अभी तो सर ये है कि जैसे मोस्टली जो 10th के
So
बच्चे हैं
now next question is
तो उनको
Karishma
तो
Mandal has
मोस्टली
asked what should be the focal point of our
आपकी स्कूल
resume
की फीस
for
का
it to get to be
मेनली चीज़ है।
shortlisted by the
लाइक
companies.
कुछ एक दो बच्चे जैसे फिजिक्स का ट्यूशन या ऐसे ले रहे हैं, अदरवाइज बाकी
I feel
फिजिक्स
that
का
there is
ट्यूशन
a
शायद
separate session
जो
for
आसपास
resume
विलेज में
altogether
कोई
on Manan
टीचर है
channel
वो
only.
पढ़ा रहे हैं तो वो ले रहे
You
हैं।
can go through that.
एंड
But
आई गेस
yeah,
We
एक
will
बच्चा
folks,
था
you
pin
कोई
the
can.
link in the
काफ़ी
description, guys. You
कंप्यूटर का भी
can
कोर्स कर रहा था,
and go to
उसमें
that
वर्ड और
session.
वो सब था। तो
Yeah.
10th क्लास के बच्चों का मेनली
Yeah,
मेनली
but
Are
रीज़न
you?
the
है
like
कि
basics
मेनली
of
वो आपका स्कूल फीस
resume.
मांगे तो ठीक है।
No, no, you can continue, Arun.
देन 12th का अभी
Okay,
के
so
लिए
what I think like the
एक
basics of
स्कूल
resume
फीस है,
should be like it
बट
should be
वो
very
कुछ
concise.
लोग जे न्यूज़
It
की
should
कोचिंग
mention
के
your
लिए भी बात
relevant
कह
skills
रहे थे
that you're
कि
applying
हमें
for
जे
a
न्यूज़
job.
की कोचिंग
So
है,
you should cater your resume
पर
such like that.
सर
It must contain the skills that you're applying for. Like it's a front end job. The resume should mention the best of your front end skills and projects. And
वो
projects
फैब
should
में
be
है।
interesting enough so that the interviewer asks you question about that. Like when you add
हाँ
projects like clones, like YouTube clone or things like that, there are like no questions what the interviewer can ask you about that. Like is it a clone and that's end of it. And but if you have like interesting projects that solves a real world problem, so that's pretty interesting for interviewer to engage you in a question. So that's like the better part of an interview when you two are conversing about the project. So that will help you a lot. So like add interesting project, make it concise, and add relevant skills. Also you should mention your experience in tech, like if you have participated in hackathon open source. So you should definitely mention that as well. Like make it around mostly around tech, but also add some of your like one or two
हाँ
hobbies.
10th का
So
भी
that will help
इसी
as well. Yeah.
टाइम के अराउंड है।
In my opinion as well, mention good projects. Again, the same point. Mention a project that is solving a real life problem. That is very important. So, yes, that's it.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, work on your resume to do a good job of selling yourself and the skills.
हाँ, तो सर
So
उसमें 12th
now
का भी कुछ
it is one
बच्चों
of
का
the
है कि
most
हम
asked
जेई मेंस के
questions.
लिए
Is it
प्रिपेयर कर रहे
necessary to
हैं।
do
बट जैसे
DSA
अभी
and
आपने कहा
development
कि जैसे
simultaneously?
फेब में पेपर है
Will
बोर्ड
it be
का
needed for further
एंड
placement?
जेई मेंस का जैन में है पेपर, तो वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा क्लोज है। एंड फिर जेई मेंस में
I
11
particularly
12
feel
दोनों
that
का सिलेबस आता है।
DSA is somewhat important in your interview preparation journey. So
यस,
development and
जनवरी
all is okay,
24 में।
but any of the interview you are giving, you will be facing, you will be given some
हाँ,
problems
जेई 2 बार होगा सर,
where you have to
बट वो
make
भी
some
फिर
use
लाइक
of DSA
2 मंथ्स
or
के
in
बाद ही है।
the
जैसे
real
बोर्ड
world
एग्ज़ाम हो
development
गया,
as well.
फिर
The
उसी के
tools which you
1 एंड
use
हाफ मंथ्स के
have
बाद
some
अप्रैल
underlying DSA
के अराउंड होगा,
concepts.
अप्रैल या जून के अराउंड
So
होगा।
it's better to actually have some decent understanding of DSA,
एडवांस एक बार होगा,
but
वो
again from
जुलाई
the
में
my
कुछ
side
होगा,
it's
जुलाई
just
के
the
आसपास।
role specific. If you are going for a front end interview, then it
हाँ,
might not be that important to
ये जब
be
इन्होंने
very good at DSA.
स्क्रीन इम्प्लाई
Then
करने
your
लगे थे,
development
क्योंकि कुछ
skills
लोगों
should
का
be
मिस
at
या
par there.
कुछ लोग कहते थे हम इस वजह से नहीं अपीयर कर पा रहे, तो उस वजह से इन्होंने
So
2
I would like to
अटेम्प्ट
add few
लिए।
more points. Like if you're targeting big MNCs like Amazon, FANG, or companies like that, so DSA is a must for that because I gave front-end interview for the Amazon doubling, and most of their questions were centered around DSA, and there were like less to 0% of question that were really focused on the front-end technologies. Like the technologies they mentioned were React and a few of the other technologies. They did not raise any question related to that, only DSA. So if you are targeting big MNCs, DSA is a must. But if you're targeting small startups that only need your skill and like build the features as soon as possible, get you start working. So they don't really care about DSA that much. So that really depends on which type of companies you are focusing to. So like DSA is the must, I would say, like having a basic understanding of DSA is a must as a developer because it opens your mind how things are getting handled behind the scenes. Even like frameworks like React and Vue, they have a good usage of data structure behind the scene, how the tree shaking is working, how the DOM is built. So having a good knowledge of basics of data structure would really help you. So I recommend doing DSA, even if you are like working as a developer right now in a company that doesn't require DSA. You should take some time and learn the basics of DSA. That's gonna help you out in the future as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So now next question is, if someone wants to be a ML engineer, should they also focus on DSA?
So I have a very little information understanding of MLA, machine learning engineer. Right? That's right. Am I right? Or is it something else?
Yeah, that
Yes, sir, it is machine learning only.
Yes, so in machine learning, they usually use Python and like visualization of data. For in that to work in that domain, you must have a pretty good understanding of mathematics and how the Python libraries works, such as Panda and I'm not sure I know most of the libraries that is centered toward ML, but yeah, you should have a better understanding of all the libraries that is used in Python and a better understanding of mathematics as well. And I'm not sure how much understanding you need to have around data structure to be a ML engineer. So you can like ask other seniors from Manan that do ML or anyone here that do ML can answer about that.
Same, I don't have any knowledge of machine learning, but in my opinion, the interviewers or even the project that will be working on, that will ask you some problem solving skills. So just for that sake, I guess DSA is should be done.
So I feel in Python there are several libraries as mentioned, pandas, numpy, matplotlib. So you do not intend to implement things around DSA using Python, but yeah, you need to have very good understanding of how to modulate your data around uh, around several models in Python, and yeah, problem solving. And yeah, really good maths, because there are several algorithms that you undergo. You learn about them and further implement them using Python. So not actually data structure, uh, implementing data structure, but yeah, knowing about the data structures provided by Python and how to use them for further problem solving.
Like I would like to add one point, like for any part, if you are targeting any particular company for the any position, not only the ML engineer, you can also refer to GFG articles. In that, there are many people who have mentioned the job interview process and everything, so you can get insights from that also. So that can be a good source of knowing the interview process of any company, of any particular role.
Now I would like to ask the last question of the session. How can we participate and perform well in hackathons and events like GSoC and MLH?
Like GSoC and MLH.
Yes, sir.
Although again, there is a separate session altogether for that as well on our YouTube. You can go through that. But for on a brief, like GSoC involves like going through the previous year's organization specifically. So if you will go to the GSoC website, there are a lot of organization that participates every year. So you can go on that website and find a website which suits your interests, which suits your tech stacks, and basically the technologies you want to work on. And if your goals align with the goals of that organization, then that is like I feel the proper way to choose an organization. Once you choose an organization, you can get familiar with the concepts of version control and Git. You can clone and fork that repo on your local, set it up, and basically go through that list of issues they have and the documentation they have. So once you go through that, like you can try with good first issues. First of all, try to raise small PRs and make your first contributions. Even like if you are very new to GitHub, you can try starting with Oktoberfest as well, right? So once you are done with a couple of quality contributions, you will have your place in the organization, and once you are done for 2-3 months of contributions, there is a proposal period where organizations basically publishes a list of ideas that or the projects that you have to work upon. So you have to get a proposal ready for that. So in this like in that proposal, you have to mention the LLD or HLD, like how would you go about implementing that problem statement. And yeah, so if your proposal is selected, you will be working the whole summer to implement that project only. And I feel that if you're not getting any internships, then GSoC is a good way to spend your summer and earn a decent amount of stipend as well. Yeah. So there is one senior Rhythm sir. He's Rhythm sir and Anjul sir. They are more into MLH. So if you are targeting GSoC, you can reach out to me, and if you want to target MLH, you can reach out to them. Yeah.
Yes, so I would like to add more points regarding the hackathons, participating in hackathons. So when you're participating in hackathons, they expect you to build a working prototype, which have like a front end and back end, or like have a good design basically. So it would help you to find your friends who do development in different domains. Like if you're a front end developer, look for a friend who does back end developer. So distribute your task first. Like first of all, you should do the brainstorming, like how to solve that problem and build an application around it. So having like differentiating your task between your friends would help you to build the app faster. And like participate as much as in hackathon as you can in your third year, because I expect you guys to have a good understanding of the tech stack around like you should have done by second year, and in third year you should try participating in hackathons as much as you can, and try to do open source as Mridul mentioned. And it's gonna build up your resume a lot. It's gonna improve that a lot. So yeah, pretty much good.
Okay, on behalf of Manan TechnoSearch, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our seniors who separate time from their busiest schedule to grace this session. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future endeavors. As we always say, a college club thrives on the legacy of its senior members who passed down the torch of values and commitment. With this, we are ending this session. Thank you, Arun sir. Thank you, Mridul sir. Thank you, Anjali ma'am. Thank you, Vivek sir. Thank you, Ishita ma'am. Thank you, Priyal ma'am. And thank you also, Vaibav sir. A big thank you to all the attendees for being patient and making this session memorable for us. Our seniors have tried their level best to share the insights with you all. For further doubts, you can reach us to us via our LinkedIn and Instagram profiles, also for our seniors. Thank you, all.